Hi there, this is Bob Yahoo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In 2020, my wife and I purchased a brand new Forest River Graywolf, a 23 BDH. And when we purchased the thing, it was pretty much right during the midst of the pandemic. But anyway, we purchased it during that time, and I like the camper a lot, and I still do. But we didn't go quite big enough, cause the size of our truck and whatever. We decided not to get too big, but we needed something, so we got basically a bunkhouse that has room for the grandchildren when we decide to take them along with us. But most of the time, it was just going to be my wife and I, and we decided that we needed a decent sized camper. She definitely wanted one with a bunkhouse, and I think that was a good move. Every one of the campers that we looked at, now I know someone that bought one right close to the same time as that, got one with a couch and a dinette set. Well, my wife and I, we don't eat inside that often, even when we're by ourselves, and especially we got kids with us, grandkids. We don't eat inside that often. We usually eating out on a picnic table or out underneath the awning, but somewhere outside, sometimes right by the fire. And so we didn't the table and be quite honest with you, I haven't ever seen a camper, frankly, that has a dinette set that isn't somewhat uncomfortable. The benches that they build, and they have a lot of storage under them, which is a good thing. But the benches they build around the dinette set aren't particularly comfortable. They're straight up and down. They're rigid. I like to sit more straight up and down than my wife does, but not that much. And I noticed about 2 years ago, I started thinking, I'm not very comfortable here. And I thought maybe it was just maybe I'd been doing too much lately and my back was bothering me, but there was a lot of things going on there. And then it really hit me this last year. I decided I didn't really like this dinette set. I didn't like the seating that we had around there. Quite often we drag a lawn chair or a lounge chair in here and sit in the middle of the floor in order so we can be comfortable. And late evening, maybe we're watching something we recorded on the television in here. You know, it was nice to have, but frankly, my wife, most of the time we take it, we don't have grandkids with it. And as I said, we're usually outside eating, so it wasn't an issue. I just decided last year at one point, I'm not comfortable in this thing. And I made up my mind right then. And little did I know, my wife had already kind of wanted this to happen, but she never said anything to me because she was pretty sure that unless it was my idea, I wouldn't do it. But I decided to remodel this thing. I decided on our last camping trip last year, I'm not comfortable in here, and I'm going to do something about it. And I kind of made up my mind I was going to take out the whole dinette set, take out the benches, take every bit of it out, and put a couple chairs in here or a couch. And it just here recently, last month, I did it. I tore the entire dinette set out, and I got pictures along the way. I didn't show any still or any slow motion of it, but it took me about 1 hour and 45 minutes. I thought it'd be a couple days, and I was about 1 hour 45 minutes taking all this out. Most of it can be done with a power drill and a Phillips head screwdriver. Plus, there's also a little attachment you need to get some of them out where it's a little square bit. And I happen to have one of those as well, so I didn't have to go purchase that either. But those two tools are pretty much all you need to take them out. And I recorded the whole thing, and I'll show you that here. But anyway, what you've seen here is I took all this out. I laid carpet down, and then I had a futon that I put in here, brown futon, and I had a there's actually a cord that comes from out of the wall back here and comes out the wall and across the floor and down, and that's the wire that controls the electricity of the slide. And so I covered that. I got some good conduit and covered that up, and then I put carpet over top of it and laid carpet in here, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. But anyway, I did all this, and now what you're seeing right here is where I'm sitting. I'm sitting on the couch that's in this camper now, and my wife and I are going to, particularly when we're here by ourselves and we're in here, I got tray tables that are going to have legs that go underneath the couch here where you're sitting. And so sitting here on this futon, we'll have tray tables that we can eat off of if it's just us and we're in here in the evening. But it was something I wanted to do, and as I found out, after I pretty well decided I was going to do it, my wife had been on board with wanting this done a long time. I didn't have, there's storage under my bed, or the main bed in this camper. We don't use it that much because, frankly, it's a little hard to lift the bed. My wife can't do it at all by herself. I'm going to take the camper later today and have them actually install the lifts that help you lift the bed, well, make it easier for a woman to do it all by herself, or anybody for that matter. And the bed is heavy and it's hard to hold up, and the hands you're using to do that, you can't put stuff in there. But when I did all this, I made these additions, I lost a whole lot of the storage that my wife uses for pans and whatnot underneath there. And I've got to make that storage up underneath our bed, which was something I planned to do also. And I didn't take shots of it from all, but some of the trim that I saved that ran on the top of the dinette set and the chairs around it, I used that trim down around. I actually cut out a spot underneath the bunk beds to allow my dog to get into. She used to lay under the dinette set. That's where she'd sleep at night while we was here. And I cut out a spot and framed out a spot underneath there, basically a box underneath the back bunk for my dog to stay in. And I used the foam. They're like little foam trim pads up there. I used them. There was one that ran across the top of well, it was right there below the bunks. And I used these trim pieces I took off when I removed the dinette set. I used those down the sides, which I believe made it look pretty good there. And the dog now has a place where she can go. And she likes, the dog likes to stay under things anyway, so she's going to find this. We're going to put her bed in there. And she'll like that, having a place where she can go and get underneath things. But anyway, this is something that I'm not the most gifted carpenter. I'm certainly not no carpenter by any means. But this is something that pretty much anybody can do for themselves if they chose to do it. And this is just something I thought I'd share with you because might be some other people out there have thought about this. I was not comfortable with these things, and we don't need to dinette that bad anyway. What I've got right here is going to be a lot more functional. It's long enough where I can lay down and sleep myself fully stretched out. And I know that dinette could be put down and allow people to sleep there. Usually don't have that many people around here anyway. If we do, we probably got too many people in the camper. A person can get up in the morning like I do. I usually get up before my wife anyway, and I'm usually reading or working on another book. And so it allows me to have those tray tables, right, sit here, and I can be comfortable while I work. And I'm actually very pleased with this setup, and I think it might be something some others out there might choose to do for yourself. But anyway, that's what I had for you this week. I'm actually looking forward to going camping next month. I actually are going up around Zanesville to the Zane Grey Family Fest. And Zane Grey, for those of you who don't know, was a famous Western author, probably one of the best known Western authors of all time. and I'm going up there and take my books up there and sell them up at this event, and we're going to camp up there while we're doing that. So this this is just something I thought I'd talk to you about. And there may be a lot of you out there got campers and maybe thought about this. It's not hard for a do-it-yourselfer to do, even one that isn't a great carpenter. You can do this by yourself, and I did it, and I thought others might be interested in it as well. So that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for stopping in. Bye now.